Hey there, folks. I just figured I'd do a quick life update sort of thing. And so I guess it was like last week, and just this past couple of days, a good friend of mine came over to help me with my car because last week um, came by and I tried to start it. I think it was, yeah, Friday morning, last Friday. I tried to start it and nothing. It had enough, it like turned over halfway and then it didn't do anything. All the lights were at full illuminosity and everything. I mean, dashboard light was fine. Dome light was full brightness, everything like that. And it was a couple of days before a friend of mine could get over here to take a look at it. And when he finally did, there was a point where he was laying on the driveway in front of the car, up under the front of the car, and he's like, okay, go in and try to turn the key and let's see what happens. So I went in because he thought he found what it was, and I went in and I leaned in, I turned the key, and sure enough, it started to turn over, and I turned the key back into the off position, and I leaned back out of the car, and he scooted up a little further, and then he was under the front of the car, obviously. I was standing beside the car, and it just suddenly started to turn over and try to start, and it wouldn't stop. And of course, nobody was turning the key, so he comes bolting up from underneath the car, trying to scramble out from underneath it. I'm thinking, great, it's possessed. It's going to run him over, and I'm going to have to find a way to get rid of the body. Fortunately, he got out of the way, and it didn't shift into gear. So he's like, okay, turn the key off. And I was like, I did turn the key off. So I reached in and I pulled the key out of the ignition and the engine's still trying to turn over. And he's like, oh, so he dives underneath the car and does something and it stops. But it was just sitting there cranking over and over again. So, finally he figures out what the problem is and it like solves it with maybe a foot of electrical tape. And, my car started fine. Everything was beautiful. Until today. Here it is 3 days later. And I'm on my way home from work. And when I'm driving at slow speeds, like say bumper to bumper traffic on the 101, there's this very slight kind of a knock. And it's not consistent. It's not, you can't make it happen every time. It's just probably once every, 5 or 10 minutes or so. It just kind of gives this light little knock, like it's having trouble shifting. I'm thinking, great, I'm running out of, transmission fluid or something, and it's having trouble shifting gears. So I swing off the highway, and I go to a gas station, and I reach in, trying desperately not to burn my arm, and I pull out the dipstick, and I check the fluids, and it's right, right in the hash marks, right where it's supposed to be. I check the oil at the same time, and it's also right in the hash marks, right where it's supposed to be. I'm thinking, what in the hell is causing this problem? Whatever. So I finished driving the rest of the way home. Now, Thursday night is usually when, a bunch of my friends get together at this local chicken shack called Wicked Chicken in Santa Clara over by the university. And I was like, stopped at the house, take care of some stuff, and then to head over there. And I head out from the house. I'm driving down El Camino, and I'm maybe a mile and a half from the house. And I stop at a traffic light, and I look in my side mirror at the car behind me, and I'm like, wow, that guy's car is smoking. And then I realized, no, that's my car that's smoking. I'm like, shit, where is this? So I pull over behind this gas station, and there's just smoke coming out from underneath the hood, from under the car. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? I'm thinking, please just let it be like some transmission fluid that got on the engine block and it's starting to smoke or something. I don't need this. I have 2 weeks left at Electronic Arts before my contract is over. 2 weeks. 2 weeks, like that chicken in the first Total Recall movie. The big mask thing. 2 weeks. Don't need this. Really don't need this. But my credit union is having a little promotional giveaway thing where I think it's not this coming Saturday, but next Saturday, where if your janky little fake key opens up the lockbox, you might win a Mercedes C250. That would be really funny to me. If, my just crappy Mercury Sable station wagon just self self-detonates, and then I wind up, winning a $30,000 car. I think that would be hysterical. I will, of course, take the cash equivalent because I don't know if my car destroys itself. No, because I could use the $30,000 to get a Subaru. A Subaru would probably last. Friends are always after me to get a Subaru. Anyway, so that's kind of how things are going. 2 weeks. Don't need this stupid car. All right, so I will go for now and talk to you guys later on. All right, be careless.